Hello, hello! The doc is in and welcome back to another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 254. Been 2 weeks, back. Last chapter, Maki got bodied by a black flash, leaving no one else standing except for the honored one, quote unquote, Kusakabe, to take on Sukuna next. My goat. Stocks are high. I think he's got it in him. I don't know. He's been holding back. He's using 1% of his power and, trying to let the main characters do their thing. But now he's stepping up to the plate and he's going to take out Sukuna. Or something like that. Anyway, let's begin this chapter. So, Kusakabe starts off with new shadow style, simple domain, evening mood, sword drawing. You've seen this before with Kusakabe and Miwa. I don't know if it's the exact same technique, but simple domain to use with their swords, drawing technique, etc. Right? And basically, we get a little narrator dialogue where they basically go through, what is the point of a simple domain, and the just of it is a counter to other domains and barrier techniques. And while it is a simple domain, it is still a domain, enhances his abilities, as well as making it so that then curse techniques inside his area are weakened. Kusakabe also mentions that basically using this simple domain, it is extra effective because he can basically imbue the simple domain so that then when Sukuna sends his slashes, he can basically instantly target them. And also other people, which will come in later, right? To show off this, Sukuna sends a slash, right? He's like, oh, well, you're stupid. I'm not going to enter your domain. I'm just going to send a slash at you. Says slash, and Kusakabe is able to deflect it. I assume this doesn't mean he can see them. They're basically just, like I said, automatic because of the domain, right? And again, curse techniques are weakened within this area while his curse energy is increased. Basically closing the gap between him and Sukuna on 2 different areas, right? So he's like, okay, I'm feeling a little confident. I could block some techniques. And he's also like, oh yeah, I'm going to use my ability to see, curse energy and see Sukuna's movements that I can, help me make sure to block the slashes that he sends at me, right? So Sukuna's like, oh, that's a cool trick. Sends a slash without moving. He doesn't move. He's just like, okay, so he's predicting me by seeing what I do. Okay, what if I did nothing? And immediately Kusakabe is able to block it. Barely. You can see it in his face. He's like, oh, that was close. That was a little close. Right? And so Sukuna's kind of making fun of him. He's like, okay, so, what do you got next? What are you going to do? And so from there, right, we get a little cutaway and we get back to glazing. Mei, the groomer, Nanami, and Gojo basically talk about how great Kusakabe is. It's just round 2. And they also specifically talk about his domain, talk about how resourceful he is, how good his domain is, how he's able to extend his simple domain, right? The expanding it, right? How he's able to use his simple domain without any restrictions, because as we saw with Miwa, and it's also mentioned in this chapter, that Miwa, her domain has a restriction where she cannot move her feet. If you move her feet, simple domain dissipates, right? Kusakabe does not have this restriction. So technically, Kusakabe can run you into his domain, basically. Like, he can chase you down and force you to, basically take the, I guess you could say, on entry effect of, he's instantly able to hit you or whatever, right? But instead of doing that, he expands it, which we said before. It's like, oh, expanding your domain, simple domain. Never seen that before. Well, we're gonna see it now. Right after the little glazing session, Kusakabe expands his simple domain. It was Sukuna's surprise. He's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of interesting, right? But then we get a little bit more glazing, and basically Mei specifically, but I think all of them are basically saying that basically him being able to expand his simple domain allows him to interrupt any curse technique attacks, which in this case he specifically does when he notices that Sukuna was about to expand his slashes to the world, right? The world cutting slash, blah 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 blah, right? So by using a simple bane and basically forcing Sukuna in it by expanding it, he makes it so that then Sukuna cannot use his attack right? And so therefore, from there, it also allows the usual effect of, once you're in his domain, he basically instantly attack you, right? And Nanami hypes this up. He's like, yeah, I don't know anybody who can take that attack head on. Given, I also know somebody who doesn't need to take the attack, Gojo, right? And so Kusakabe hits Sukuna with a full barrage. He's swinging, and Sukuna takes a little bit of damage, just a bit. Don't get too hyped. Just a bit of damage, right? And as he's swinging, his sword breaks. So you would think, damn, swordsman, no sword. Damn, is he gonna like expand his sword, or is he gonna like fight with the hilts? He's gonna be like, as long as I can still have a little bit of blade, it's enough. Nope. He takes off his trench coat and he says, "Run me those hands." He throws the coat in his face and just begins to box. Right? He then kicks Sukuna through, I suppose, I guess, I don't know. I guess, those like overpass? Is that the word? Basically, those like streets that go over the road? Like it's like a road above the road. He kicks him through those, right? And he follows up on Sukuna, right? He's getting close. They're still fighting. They're doing like a little clash midair, right? And we get a little cut to why Kusakabe's trying so hard. Up until this point, we have known Kusakabe to basically be the laziest grade 1, while also simultaneously apparently being the strongest grade 1 ever. And he's basically like, it's a lot uncharacteristic of me to try so hard. And he basically says that the reason why he's trying so hard is for Principal Yaga. Because he's like, Principal Yaga helped him out. He helped his sister out, which, it meant a lot to him. And while Principal Yaga probably wouldn't shame him for not trying so hard, or maybe, squeaking out of the fight or running away or whatever, he feels like not only does he feel indebted to him, but he also feels like he'd feel a level of shame if he wasn't if he didn't put his 100% for Yaga's sake. Because if Yaga was here, he want them, both of them, to fight together, right, against this insurmountable enemy and so on and so forth, right? So he locks in. Then we get one more set of glazing, just a little bit more glaze. A lot of Kusakabe glaze this chapter. I mean, we got 3 different glazing sessions. Does Gojo even get this many glazes in one chapter? I don't know, right? But they basically are like, and the most important thing about Kusakabe is that he's a real one. He's a kind man. He's a cool guy, right? And then Kusakabe hits the honored one pose, like in the air, back, laying down mid-air, just posted up. Crazy. Like I said, the glaze on Kusakabe this chapter is insane. No wonder his stocks were high, right? But getting back to the chapter, right? What were we actually doing? Kusakabe's thinking in his head, like, the most important thing here is that, hey, forget everything else I was thinking about. The students out there, students inside will probably die if I don't stop Sukuna. And the students who already went out got their asses beat. And they put their lives on the line to try to fight Sukuna. I would look insane and feel like a horrible, horrible person for my very, very short following life if I did not at least put out the same 110%. So he lays it all down. He gets down. He hits the floor with Sukuna. He hits another new shadow style, right? Moonlight Veil. It expands his blade. Still not a curse technique. Do not get the wrong idea. It's not a curse technique. He got the blade. He goes inbound. Sukuna, brother, you can't aim for the part that's most obvious. My heart's all fucked up and you want to hit me in the heart? Duh. Of course you're going to go for the weak spot. So I grabbed your sword. And Kusakabe's looking at him. He's like, yeah, I'm fucked. Slash. X across the chest. He's cooked. Ui. Hops in. He's like, okay, let me get Kusakabe. Sukuna, brother. Nah. How will we stop doing that? And he's about to put Ui on a t-shirt. Ui is going to be cooked. He's not even strong like that. He would just die. But Sukuna misses. And who is the one who saves Ui? None other than my brother from Africa. I actually don't remember this guy's name. I didn't give him an introduction because of hype or anything. I just don't remember. No, Miguel. There you go. Shit. The crazy thing is, I watched a couple of videos about him. Crazy. Anyway, so he got here, and he's basically like, oh, you don't know me. I'm famous. Blah, blah, blah. And so Miguel is going to fight Sukuna. End of chapter? Question mark? I guess. Also, he gets a little hype. The narrator says, the man who went toe-to-toe with Gojo Satoru. Miguel joins the battle. Insane to give him the... What's with this glaze? Okay. I'm probably going to do like a video about this, because I feel like this is like very pertinent. But in short, right? Who the fuck is Miguel, and why are we giving him Gojo hype? What are we doing, actually? Okay? I've caped for Gege for a long time, right? I think Gege's a pretty good runner. I think he's cooking. I think he's got good stuff. I feel like on a reread, all this stuff is not going to seem nearly as bad. I feel like once we get to the end destination, we'll look back on everything that's passed, and well, I'm sure people still have some problems. I think overall we'll be cool with it, right? Right now, though, who the fuck is Miguel, and why are we acting like he's even in the same, like tier? Tier would even be wrong. Why is he even on the top half of the bracket with Gojo? His best feat was not dying, which, to be fair, it is Gojo. I mean, we've already gotten literally Yuta, who was my goat, right? Is like, yeah, I don't want to scrap. I don't even want to fight on the same team as Gojo, because I'll get in the way. All right, my goat can't even fight on the same team as Gojo, because he will get in the way. Right, so going toe to toe against Gojo, right? He's trying to beat your ass and not immediately dying. I mean, I feel like that is a feat, but Gojo and Sukuna are in the same tier. By that logic, you're saying Miguel, Gojo, and Sukuna are relative. That is not a thing. I don't care how cool this guy is in his black robe, all right, which he doesn't even have anymore. More than likely. I mean, all of it disappeared. It was like, I'm pretty sure the whole point was that, oh yeah, the black rope was like an ancestral created cursed tool that was like used all up to even stand up kind of to Gojo. And well, it's gone now, and he was trying to make more, but I mean, it took decades to like a millennia to make that. So yeah, I have no idea why Miguel's here. Also, he's from Africa. I mean, given this is like a world-ending event, like if Sukuna wins here, like shit's gonna get really bad. But I'm still like, why the fuck is Miguel here? Yeah. Other than that, I mean, cool chapter. Kusakabe got a little hype. That's fine. Honestly, this chapter was very predictable, except for the last part. The last part of like Ui almost getting bodied. That's not unpredictable, but Miguel showing up, that is random, to be honest. But as far as the Kusakabe stuff, like, yeah, like, of course he was gonna fucking get his ass beat. Like, sure, he had a little bit of a showing. He looked cool. We kind of see like what the full extent of his capabilities are as a grade 1, but he's a grade 1 fighting against Sukuna, like, in essence, above special grade. Like, he's ultra grade. He's the strongest. Like, the title of the strongest applies to him. And you're you're not a special grade, you're a grade 1. Like, the last grade 1 / special grade high grade 1 low special grade Chozo, who tried to step in and fight Sukuna, got double donated, which is unheard of, right? He's not dead, but he got double donated for trying to jump Sukuna. All right, the fact that Kusakabe didn't die immediately is great, but like, this is like a mid special grade and up kind of fight. You can't just, yeah. So chapter, I'll probably give it like a 7. I feel like 7's fair. It's fine. It's a decent chapter. It's just like, let's cook some more. Let's get to phase 2. I'm sensing that phase 2 is basically that they're all going to jump at the same time. Maybe. Or maybe they're healing up, gonna beat up Urame, and then get the full team to jump him. Like, maybe this was like a setup to like stall against Sukuna, to figure out, you know, create a better plan for Sukuna, because obviously they gotta figure out how he fights just off rip, and then they can get working on round 2 because they're all getting healed, I guess. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all my thoughts. Like I said, chapter relatively unremarkable. Like, the most surprising part is the Miguel part, and it's not surprising for a good reason. It's surprising for like a oh, okay reason. Yeah, so I'll catch y'all next week. No break, so that's good. Thanks for watching. See ya. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the doc is out. Bye.